What's up, what's up, what's up, man? It's the Fly Roadside Guy checking in one time for the one. You know how we do. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you new. So check it right. I'm going to talk about local trucking versus trucking over the road, right? So local trucking versus trucking over the road. Some people aspire to be over the road, which is great if you like to, travel, if you like to drive, if you want to see, coast to coast, you know what I mean? You like to travel, America, Canada, you know what I'm saying? You want to go over the road, hey, by all means, go for it. You can make a lot of money going over the road. You'll probably make more money if you were an owner operator, owning your own truck going over the road. Definitely need your CDL Class A. Well, unless you got a box truck or something like that, or you in hot trucking, but tractor trailer purposes, get you a Class A. You know what I mean? Go over the road, or get a box truck, go over the road, expedited freight. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you over the road. You're not local. You're not sleeping home every night. You know what I'm saying? So that could be a con. But you can make a lot of money. Like I say, not as much as if you had your own truck, but you got to deal with owner operator expenses if you do decide to get your own truck. You know what I mean? You'll be handling the cost of maintenance, breakdowns. You're gonna have to be responsible for finding your own loads. You know what I'm saying? You all going to be, the main point of contact. So keep in mind, anybody that's looking to be an owner operator, whether you over the road locally or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I like to, drive local. Y'all know if y'all been following me, dump trucks. That's my lane. You feel me? But I've been over the road, expedited freight. Drove for U.S. Express. You know what I'm saying? At one point, team driving for Panther. So yeah. But I prefer local trucking. Get to be home every night. You know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily need to go over the road to make a substantial amount of money in trucking. Like I've told y'all before, I mean, you can make just as much money driving a dump truck, in my opinion, than you can over the road. Now, granted, it's going to be seasonal, so that's going to be the con to it. You know what I mean? If you over the road, tractor trailer, you know what I mean, you can drive, you know what I mean, as much as you want, as long as you within your, operating hours, of course, you know what I'm saying, which is 70 hours, and you gotta have your resets and all of that. But the weather's not going to pretty much hinder you that much as opposed to when you're working in construction and in the dump truck field. You know what I'm saying? So going over the road, if the weather's bad in one area, hell, drive out of that area and get to the area that's better. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you can find the loads, because at the end of the day, you're going to want a dispatcher or a broker that's going to be feeding you that work so you can get over the road and make that money. You know what I'm saying? Because being over the road, not, making no money, because in order for you to be earning, those wheels got to be turning. You don't want to be over the road, far away from home, you know what I'm saying? If you got children and kids, you know what I'm saying, far away from them, and you just sitting there, twirling your thumbs. That ain't where you want to be when you over the road. You also don't want to be in a position where you waiting for, your broker or your dispatcher to find you free. You want to have somebody that's already going to know once you drop off, boom, they got something lined up ready for you to go, you know what I mean? So you ain't got to have too much downtime, and you can keep those wheels turning, like I said. Driving locally, if you want to find a job driving locally, hey, and if you want to be a company driver, you can drive for, like I say, a garbage company, a bus company, become a bus operator. Hey, you home every night, you know what I'm saying? Now, you might have to work your way up the ladder, seniority. You might not have the right shift that you're looking for. But if you have aspirations of becoming, your own boss and want to work for yourself, hell, get yourself a loan, you know what I mean? Get yourself start yourself a transporting company, you know what I mean? Maybe you get a passenger van, you know what I'm saying? Start that route, and then, expand. I had a family member, he had a party bus, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had a show enough party bus. And he ran that business for a couple years, and he did a great job doing that. You know what I'm saying? So if you got a class B with a passenger's endorsement, then hey, you know what I mean, you definitely can, drive a coach bus and be your own bus operator. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I got family members that have their own coach buses. You know what I mean? You can have trips, transport groups, have gatherings, functions, different type of things. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta have that aspiration to work for yourself. And that might not necessarily be something local unless you decide to transport locally throughout your city. You can have tours, things of that nature. But you can make it a regional type of thing. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, it'll be a local type of trucking job if that's what you want to make it. So another thing that's with local trucking is, you get to know your area. You know what I mean? You're familiar with your area. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be in any unfamiliar territory. So that's a pro to driving locally. You know what I'm saying? When you're over the road, of course, unless you've been, going over the road for years and you're familiar with infrastructure, things change all the time. So, you're going to be in unfamiliar territories when you're going over the road. So you definitely want to make sure that, that's something that you're willing to do and deal with. Like I said, I mean, when I was over the road in my earlier days, I mean, it was cool, but at the same time, it wasn't cool because my children were a little bit younger. Now they young adults at this point. So if I really wanted to go back over the road, which I don't, I wouldn't be 100% opposed to it. You know what I mean? As long as the money was right. You know what I'm saying? If I decided I wanted to get a box truck, which, down the line, I wouldn't mind having a box truck. You know what I'm saying? My uncle was in the box truck game my whole life. You know what I'm saying? So I know there's money that can be made in a box truck. You know what I'm saying? I would try to find a lane, find a driver, and make it do what it do. You feel me? And as long as both parties are happy, you know what I mean, my customer's happy, my driver's happy, and money can be made, you know what I'm saying? As long as it makes sense, you know what I mean? If it don't make sense, it don't make no dollars, you know what I'm saying? So, you know how the shit go. But I ain't gonna make this video too long, I'm still out here dump trucking. Transporting is a little slow. Like I told y'all, truck movers, they was on some fugaziness, but that's for a whole nother video. But that's something else that you can do locally and over the road. It's gonna be pretty much more over the road if you're really trying to make money in the driveway business or transporting RVs and box trucks and tractors and stuff like that. The money over the road is gonna be where it's at. Even if you do the piggyback loads, you know what I'm saying, in the driveway business, you know what I'm saying? Which, that's a nice hustle too. Like I say, you just gotta get on with the right drive-away companies and more than one drive-away company as far as over the road game go. But, local driving, local trucking, hustling, gig jobs, whatever. You know what I mean? You can make $200 a day easy just on a gig job, for real, if you're willing to put in that work, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be DoorDash, Uber Eats, Instacart, any of that shit, you know what I'm saying? But you do the math, multiply that, whatever you want to make, you know what I'm saying? But if you in a local truck and dump truck specifically, the work is going to come here and there. You want to stay as busy as possible, for sure, but the dump truck business ain't a 365, gig, man. So sometimes, man, the work gonna be up and down. You gotta save your money, you gotta stack your bread accordingly, you know what I mean? But you gotta love what you do and do what you love, man. Like I say, I love dump trucking. I'm in it to win it, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep on trucking. But yeah, local trucking versus over the road. You know what I mean? There's money that you can make in both avenues, but y'all know where I state my main bread and my main, you know what I mean, is. So, dump trucking is where it's at for me. But like I say, you can go over the road, make some money too, you know what I mean? Just you gotta know what you gotta do. All right, man. Like and subscribe, man. The Fly Roadside Guy, man, and I'm out.
Them tune out, man. You been let me know.